Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation, and the topic is determination to save your marriage. Hi, welcome back. I'm Paul Friedman, and the topic we're going to discuss today is determination to save your marriage. Obviously, this is a huge factor, and a lot of people recognize that instinctively. They realize that if you give up, it's over. I mean, let's face it, nothing good is going to come of giving up. Also, there's another level to giving up, and that is halfway, going halfway, thinking, okay, I'm not sure if what I do is going to work, but I'll give it my best shot. That's not really giving it your best shot. You know, there's a very ancient, one of those cool stories about these goats who joined in a competition to climb a ice-covered mountain. And all the goats got together and they started up this mountain, and one by one, all of the goats failed. And except for one, there was one goat who just kept going, and everyone was amazed. And when he came down, everyone asked, "How did you do it? How did you do it?" And he just blankly stared at everybody because the goat was deaf. He never heard the negative reaction from the crowd. He always felt determined. He's going to make it to the top. Sometimes when a marriage is in a big mess, then we have to do a couple of things because determination by itself isn't enough. We have to have a clear path to, using that analogy, to the top of that mountain. Now, I didn't always know the clear path myself. I'm not a Western psychologist, and I'll tell you that they don't know the clear path. In fact, I used to be a divorce mediator. That was my profession. And then in 2001, a couple came for a divorce, a mediated divorce, and after just a few minutes of starting to put things on my big whiteboard, they said, "We don't want a divorce. We just don't know how to stay together. Could you please help us?" And I was taken aback, first time that ever happened. And I said, okay. It was kind of spontaneous. But then I said, give me a few months to look into marriage. Now, this is important for you. What I'm about to share with you is very important because you need a clear path to save your marriage. Determination is critical. You have to have that. But you also have to have, where are you going? What do you mean a clear path? What do you mean determination? Determination to do what? Just to go, no, I'm really serious. I'm going to save my marriage. I'm going to fight for my marriage. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Well, what does it take? And that's what I'm going to try and help you out with in this video. I've been doing this now since 2001. That's over 25 years of helping people. So how do I help people? Well, at first I went to my marriage counselor friends who sent me all my business, and I told them what happened. And they said, Paul, you're perfect for this. You're ideal. You're a good listener. You're able to lay things out. You'll be able to help them solve problems. And I said, okay, how do I do it? And they said, well, ask them one in turn, what are your problems? And I thought, I don't think so. There was something inside my mind that was telling me that wasn't the right thing to do. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I was divorced at that time. And guess what? I'm going to tell you how my marriage ended. That first marriage ended because, and I could afford it. We were fairly wealthy. And we went to the best marriage counselors in San Diego County. And finally, we found one who my wife really liked. And she said, okay, here's some homework. I want you to sit down together, pen and paper, and tell each other what's making you unhappy. Okay, that made sense. So we sat down together and I said, you go first. She said, no, you go first. So I said, okay. Well, by the time I got to item two, she got up and stormed out. And I remembered that. And I tied that into what I was doing with this couple. And what I did was I came up with a positive framework. Why? Because we don't get married to solve problems. We get married. Why? Because we want to be happy. We want to experience that love that we felt when we first met each other. You met your soulmate. Let's be honest. You didn't feel the love up here. You see, Western psychology, and so therefore the trendy thinking doesn't get it because they talk about emotional love. We all know what emotional love is. It's like a roller coaster. I love you. I hate you. I'm mad at you. I'm happy with you. It's all in the mind. It's your mind doing its job to filter your environment, to tell you what's good and what's bad. But you know what? When you feel love, it doesn't matter if your wife or your husband is angry with you. Doesn't matter if they have abused you, if they had said something to you that insults you, because that insult is going to the mind, but you don't feel love in the mind. You feel love in the heart. And that's what you have to focus on when you're determined to save your marriage. Now, we do that all the time at the Marriage Foundation. It took 8 years of working with individuals and couples for me to arrive at a process that I felt comfortable enough. And then we put it online in the form of an online marriage course. And so different from everyone else, there's one for women and one for men. Why? Because when I met with women, I had to have 2 boxes of tissue. And I had to listen for about 15 minutes before I could get a word in. That's not a condemnation or a criticism of women. It's just how you women, who I'm speaking with, are built. And men, very differently. I had only 1 box of tissue. Sometimes it was used. In fact, if you go to the search bar and you look up Jerry, you'll see where one of my clients talks about having met with me, and he's talking about it to marriage counselors who I was training. And he puts it out exactly right. When I met with a man, I go, listen, man, here's the deal. And sometimes I had to pull way back so I didn't get hit. And some men I wouldn't even meet in my home office. I would meet them in a restaurant or a Starbucks because I push buttons. Because for a man, you have to break through that armor because men are warriors. Women are really protectors of their children, their husband, and their family, and so are men, but it's very different because women are also nurturers and they have this soft. So anyway, that's how we set up the courses. So we have a course for men and a course for women, but let's go back to at hand, the determination. So you can't just be determined and meander. You have to be focused. You have to know what to be focused on. And I'm going to share some of that with you. So we think in terms of I have to do this, they have to do that, and we meet here and it's like an arrangement, like a business arrangement. Well, I list 3 killers of marriages, and one is business mentality. It's not about business. It is about love. It's about the love that you feel in your heart. It's about building a bridge to your soulmate, even if they're not building it too, which is why the individual courses are so successful. Because to be honest with you, it's very rare for a couple, for both of the couple to want to save their marriage. Believe it or not, it's rare. Usually what happens is, well, I hate to say this, usually what happens is the man is already having an affair, or he's sexting, or he's liking all these women on Facebook or something, and the wife is freaking out, and she should be. But she shouldn't freak out to the point of where that's all she does. She needs to become determined to reunite with her husband based on the juice that they felt when they first met. And that is very, very important. It is very, very important to understand that your relationship is constructed as a bridge between two souls. You have to learn about marriage. You have to understand what marriage is. You have to learn about your wife or your husband in an objective fashion to understand why they behave, why they think, why they are the way they are. You know, there's so many funny stories about the difference between men and women, but these are real. It's real, and you have to know these differences so you don't step in it all the time. You know, you hear men all the time, they say, look, I just want to come home, take off my shoes, sit in front of the television and let my, well, not television so much anymore, but in front of the screen and let my mind just go. And the wife wants to talk to me. What do I do? And the wife says, all I want to do is talk to him. All I want to do is express myself and feel that he loves me. There's nothing wrong with either of those. Of course not. But we need to understand. A wife who understands her husband as a man and herself as a woman leaves behind all of these social expectations. And instead, she focuses on being determined to love him. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about love, because love is a fascinating thing. You know, what you hear from both men and women is, I don't feel love. I don't feel the love that I used to feel. And, you know, maybe they don't love me anymore. Maybe they've moved on. Maybe they're having an affair. Well, here's why people don't feel that love. It's because love isn't something that your mind can handle. You see? And so what happens is, even if someone loves you with everything they have, your mind is not going to accept it. Your mind will find the defects, even if there are no defects, because that's the mind's job. And there we have it. You also have to learn about the mind. Not your mind, but the mind, because minds are universal. So this video may be getting a little long. It's not I don't want to just keep you here for nothing. So I'm going to give you a nice technique that you can use to remind yourself to be determined in saving your marriage. Now, it's going to seem like it's not exactly direct, because it isn't. Because what you want to do is you want to feel the love in your heart for them as an inspiration to remain determined. So you could do this as many times a day as you want. What you do is you inhale, hold the breath, and as you hold the breath, feel energetically the love that you felt for them when you first saw them or first recognized them as your soulmate. Feel that and let it be a light that envelops you, a blue light or a golden light that envelops you. And then exhale and relax. And then do it again. And let that light come out of your heart and flood around you. And then push that light energetically onto your soulmate. so that they feel it on some level. They will, not on the level that you'll expect unless your soulmate is extremely intuitive, and then they'll actually feel that, because that's how powerful it is. You know, we live in this world, but we don't realize we're essentially spiritual beings, hence soul mate, you see. And that's where your marriage belongs, in the soul mate category. Now, I've written books. Those books may be a great place for you to start. Of course, watching these videos helps. I've also written many, many articles. And if needed, because not everyone needs it, then you get the course for women or the course for men. And it's very easy to sign up. There's a 3-day free trial, so you're not putting out any money yet. And there's plans for under $10 a week. I mean, it really doesn't get any better. And you know what? It works. It works. So we're here to help you. If you have the need, write into one of our counselors. It's free. There's a link below. And also, you could take a mini course that I set up. It comes via email to you. It's 3 parts, last 10 days. And it'll give you a sense of how we can help you. That's all we want to do, is help you. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. I'm so glad you stopped by. If you want to watch more of these videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you like, you could like the video and even share it. God bless you. Thank you and take care.